Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4 came on last night. Let's talk about it. Spoiler warning, if you haven't watched yet, please feel free to come back later. The episode opens up in 2018. I think that's 11 years prior to where we are now in the timeline. And we randomly see Josh Peck playing a soldier. We see a group of Fedra soldiers in a tank. They're all talking. Josh Peck's character comes off kind of like an asshole, and he's telling a story about kind of like roughing up civilians, and he calls them voters. And another soldier that looks like he's kind of new to the team waits for laughter to die down and then asks Josh Peck's character, why do you call them voters? And Josh Peck is like, I don't know, it's just what we call them, who cares? And then we are introduced to Jeffrey Wright's character. His character goes, we call them that because we took their rights away. In a tone where he's clearly not amused by Josh Peck. Josh Peck's character kind of apologizes, but Jeffrey Wright is like, you're thoughtless. And then all of a sudden, the tank comes across a school bus and they're not able to pass. So Jeffrey Wright says, I'm gonna go out and talk to the people that are surrounding our vehicle because a bunch of civilians are coming up to the vehicle. He gets out of the vehicle, points to the new guy and is like, follow me, you're gonna learn. So they exit the vehicle. He approaches a woman. He's approached by a woman played by Alana Ubach. I love her. And you find out that they're part of the Washington Liberation Front. He clearly recognizes him. She knows him. He confirms his name is Isaac. Then he takes some grenades, throws them into the vehicle with the soldiers, closes the door, and they all perish. The driver tries to get out. He shoots the driver, and he's basically murdered his entire team. Clearly, he's not a Fedra agent, and he turns to the new guy, and he's like, now's the time to make your decision. And then we cut to present day. So Dina and Ellie are going through a pharmacy. They're in Seattle. They're looking around, trying to find supplies. We see Dina pick up something. We don't see what it is on camera, but she tells Ellie, like, hey, I'll be right out. I'm gonna go pee real quick. They leave the pharmacy and they're kind of walking around. They're looking around Seattle. They're trying to find clues where to go. While they are walking around, they do see the radio tower with WLF on it. It would be silly to go during the day when in broad daylight when they can see them. So they decide to kind of find a place to hide until the nighttime and then approach that building to see who's inside. And so they find a record store. Nellie finds a guitar that's in pretty pristine condition, and she sings Take On Me by a-ha. It's a very pretty rendition, and Dina's watching her play, and I feel like this is almost her singing to Dina, singing her feelings, letting her know like she does love her and like take on me, take a chance, you know? So I really like this scene. I thought that was sweet. And you can see Dina is going through something. They do talk about Joel, about like the lessons that Joel gave her. Dina has like tears in her eyes. It's a very sweet moment, and you can tell that both of these ladies love Joel and had a great impact on them. After that, we're taken to this scene with Isaac. He has become the leader of the WLF, the Wolves. He's giving this monologue in this kitchen. He's heating up a pan, and he's talking to someone, and we soon find out he's talking to a member of the Seraphites, the group that we saw in the last episode that had gotten like eliminated, that Ellie and Dina found on the side of the road. You know, like the bald guys. We find out they're another group of people that I guess have been at odds with the Wolves. And he's torturing this poor guy that's chained just completely naked. He's trying to get that guy to tell him, like, what's the next plan of attack. Apparently they had an agreement that went sideways, and they've been going at each other ever since. Isaac's trying to get this guy to play ball, give him information. He's like, we have automatic weapons. We have what you guys don't have. And the Seraphite guy is like, well, see anyone from our group coming to your group, but we see lots of people from your group joining us, so our group is the better choice. Jeffrey Wright's character turns around to like try to get more information out of him, and the Seraphite guy offers his other hand to be burned, and then Isaac's just like, you know what? And he just kills him because he knows he's not going to get any information out of this guy. So I guess this is like our introduction to the kind of person that Isaac is. Like, he is not one to be messed with. The scene was really good, although like it made me a little afraid of Isaac. So in the evening, Ellie and Dina go to the radio tower. They break in, see like a bunch of bodies everywhere, and they aren't Seraphites, they're wolves. So like they're strung up and they're hanging around, and they're wondering like what has happened here. And so they steal a walkie-talkie from one of the deceased people there, and then they start hiding because more people are coming, searching. You can tell some things are not good within the ranks of this group. They do manage to escape the building. They're running out in the rain. They're being followed by the wolves. So they go into a subway station. It's abandoned, or so they think. They're trying to hide there, but the soldiers find them, and they hear the sound of a bunch of zombies coming for them. So it's a pretty intense scene. Ellie and Dina are running for their lives, running through the subway cars. They're running through the turnstiles. At one point, they get kind of stuck, and one of the clickers finds them and tries to bite Dina, but Ellie offers up her arm because, you know, we all know she's immune. It's not going to kill her, but Dina doesn't know that. But when they get away from that clicker, they run into an abandoned theater. Ellie is not thinking, she doesn't realize that Dina now is thinking like, oh gosh, I have to kill Ellie because she's been bit, she's going to get turned. And there's a very tense kind of confrontation between the both of them because Dina's like, I gotta shoot ya. And Ellie's like, no, I'm immune. I know that sounds crazy, but I am. You gotta believe me. Let me fall asleep in this chair. You can watch me, but I promise I'm not gonna turn. I'm immune. Dina does watch her through the night. She wakes up and they later talk, and Dina tells her, hey, I'm pregnant. We found out that she's pregnant. What she found in the pharmacy was pregnancy tests. She took like 4 of them, and she is for sure pregnant. Ellie and Dina spend like a really romantic moment together. They wake up in the morning. Dina's afraid of her morning breath, so I guess they chew on some like beef jerky. But it's a sweet scene. Clearly they like each other. They've kind of figured out like, you're my person. And Dina tells Ellie like, pregnant, this is what's going on. There's like a funny moment. Ellie's like, wow, I'm gonna be a dad. So they share like this nice moment, and like you can tell like they're really like falling in love. So their conversation is kind of interrupted by what they hear on the walkie-talkies. They hear explosions, and then they hear someone from the Salt Lake City crew that Abby's a part of saying the location of where they're going to be. Ellie and Dina go on the roof to try to figure out like what they're looking at. They see where they're supposed to go, and Ellie is like hesitant because she's like, you're pregnant now, things are different. Please don't come with me. You can stay here and wait it out and I'll come back for you. And Dina's like, no, we're in this together. And so they decide to keep going. But like the whole dynamic has changed now that Ellie knows what Dina's going through. And now that they're like connected, they're kind of established their relationship. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens next. The preview for next week looks really interesting. I think we're gonna learn more about like Alana's character. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to learning more about Jeffrey Wright's Isaac. What did y'all think about this episode? I really enjoyed it. I liked how we learned more about these 2 ladies. I liked their conversation when they were just lying there together. You know, Dina talks about her struggle with her bisexuality and like the pressures her mom kind of gave her. Ellie talks about like, you know, her arm, and they point out like the chemical burns that she did to herself to like conceal her secret. There were some really nice moments between these 2, and like that subway scene was really terrifying. And I think it has set us up nicely for kind of what to expect during the rest of the season. Again, I have not played the game, so I don't really know what's next for this group of people, but I'm looking forward to find out. What did y'all think of this episode?